Welcome to FPL Banter podcast with me, Mopey. I got Woodie.
Hello.
And Swabas.
Hey, how's it going?
And back with another edition of the podcast. And a bit embarrassing this week, unfortunately.
Well, last game week, yeah.
Yeah, it was not our, after a strong run of well above average weeks, karma kicked in.
We were bragging too much. Yeah.
They heard us. Yeah.
It was that FPL flex, yeah. So, we came in with 46 points. What?
What's this flex? What's this trend I'm missing?
An FPL flex? That's when you go...
any kind of flex. What's this flex nonsense?
An FPL flex would be something like, if I said to you like, oh, you don't have Dunk?
You didn't put Dunk as first sub this week? What?
Yeah, exactly. That would be a flex. Or there's flexes happen every day.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Okay. Basically my chat after every game week. When I'm
than say if you're saying
called it, Minamino called it.
Yeah, but a flex is specific. It's like, I need to go to bed into my king size bed. That would be a flex. You know what I mean? Anyway, 46 points, what we got, an average of 58. And I put that down to the captain. I got outvoted.
Yeah, you really wanted Grealish.
right?
No, you voted for Grealish, right, Rudy?
No.
Isn't it Eric who was adamant?
Pretty sure he was the deciding vote, yeah.
Yeah. And he for Grealish.
This is outrageous.
An
idiot. There's a web of lies in this podcast that I do not support.
And you're stuck in it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we kept him Grealish, which was a bad decision. I think my personal opinion on Grealish is he is a consistent under 10 pointer, and he's not a hauler. So I don't think he's a good candidate for captain.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Apart from the 24 points he got against Liverpool, but
that's what I mean. That
at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
that was game week 3 or 4. Yeah.
And statistically, those 24 points only come after they've played Fulham.
There we go. You're like the Rain Man of FPL patterns.
That's what they call me. I'm banned from casinos everywhere.
From FPL casinos.
Anyway.
So what was the highlight of our team? Justin? That was pretty much it, really, wasn't it?
It was our third sub, Dunk.
And our third sub, Dunk. I did say we should play him, but no. Overruled.
Our sub goalkeeper, Sanchez, did well as well.
Yeah, Dunk. But,
I mean,
hindsight is a beautiful thing.
I feel like Sanchez is becoming one of those players that FPL are loving too much. Like, even if he doesn't get a clean sheet, they're like, come on, let's bump this guy up to 5 points. Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah. Sneaky BPs for nothing. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But to be fair, I mean, Brighton generally have been banging form, and they're actually pretty unlucky against Leicester in the cup in the midweek as well.
I should also apologise. I was dropping some seriously misguided banter last week about Graham Potter being Australian. He's actually English, and actually, upon closer inspection, he's the most English guy I've ever seen in my life.
He's incredibly English.
Wikipedia picture. Yeah, he looks very English. He does not look Australian, and by that I mean you'd expect him to be tanned and like, I don't know, surfer hair. I don't know, what does an Australian look like?
I don't want to have to make Alex do any bleeping, so let's just move on.
Okay. Yeah. So the big games from last week, we have Newcastle 3-2 versus Southampton. You'd expect Wilson to be on top of that, but he got subbed after because he's got an injury now.
Yeah, he's out 6 to 8 weeks, right? Hammy. That guy's he's like he's the Matip of the striking world. Like, he's always injured. Comes back 2 games, he's got something else. Comes back 2 games, he's got something else.
The Matip of the striker world.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it works both ways. Like Matip is the Wilson of the defender world. You know, it goes both ways.
It's getting complicated.
But that was a good game, actually, particularly when they went down to 9 or 8.5 men.
A lot of red cards, weren't there? There were a lot of red.
There has been a lot. It's they're getting a bit carried away. Yeah, Mike Dean, he's having too much influence on everyone else, I think.
Speaking of Mike Dean, there was something I wanted to raise. So last week we discussed Mike Dean and how he loves giving out red cards and all that. And everyone knows it, okay? We all know it. The players know it. Mike Dean knows it, okay? But this week he gave out one too many and it got rescinded. And then he started playing the victim card. He was just like, I'd be getting death threats. I don't want to referee this weekend and all that. Yeah, well, maybe you should have thought that before you were like, giving out red cards left, right in Chelsea.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I mean, the Souček one was ridiculous. I mean, like Mitrovic going down like that, fair enough, you get it, because I think forwards now are just conditioned. If they feel anything in the head or the face, they go down. But he got straight back up, and then even went up to the ref, was like, mate, he didn't even touch me, he was totally innocent. All that, like, literally no one else in the world was like, oh mate, he's got to go for that. And then why the referees? I don't understand it. We'd be like, you know what? Nah, everyone else is wrong. Even the player that got hit in the face is wrong. I'm going to send him off.
Well, this is the thing. Would you guys be open to, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Martial, when they were like 8-0 up and he went down for the penalty for the 9-0, he was like, no, it wasn't a penalty. And the ref was like, it doesn't matter. It's a penalty.
It doesn't matter what you say.
So should the Premier League be changing the rule there and saying, well, okay, if the player that's been injured said, I tripped, there's no contact, should that be enough? I mean, it's a bit like a victim in court saying, no, there's no crime,
Yeah. Like, could you not go and say, look, did he get you? And if he's like, yeah, ref, he absolutely nailed me. It's like, okay, but if he turns out, nah, to be honest, he didn't, ref. And some players would, Steve Lomas, he was renowned for being the honest Steve Lomas.
The game.
He was. He would never dive and never try and get anyone booked or anything like that. And
why? But my question is, why was Souček raising his arm?
Well, he was just like moving, he was just trying to sell him the dummy and flip around the back, as you do. He's a big lad. He's got a lot of momentum. He's just using his arms to turn. That's all it was.
He's not really turning. They're kind of standing still, right, for a free kick. And he's just kind of like raises his arm as in like,
I mean,
it's a weird arm movement.
It is weird to the layman, to the ex-professional. It's quite obvious. I mean, I wouldn't expect you to fully understand, because it's a vocabulary that's alien to you.
I still remember playing football with Woodie and him having those Asics runner shoes. Those they're like very chunky. They're the kind of trouser or shoes that dads wear with jeans, like drain pipe jeans. You know what I mean?
To go everywhere, to go to work, to go to the pub.
He had those, and all he kept doing was running in straight lines and booting it.
What are you talking about? Was this when we played outside your house when I came on my trip?
No, it was in Australia when we played together. And
that's nonsense.
I remember
this story changes every time.
I could not stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't take the game seriously, and I was playing a Pogba position, like distributing the game and so on, and I couldn't take it. I couldn't do it because of that, because of the drain pipe jeans. He was wearing jeans as well. He said he lost his shorts.
Honestly, this story just, I'm not even sure I was there anymore in this story. And
you kicked the ball into the airport. The pitch is next to the airport. It went over the fence.
No, it didn't. That wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about.
An airplane, mate.
Well, anyway. So, the Souček, ridiculous. Mike Dean needs to lay off their old red cards. And they should also look at the rules. Everton.
Yeah, United-Everton. That was a good one.
And this brings us to the DCL issue. Because he was goalie, assisty, BPs. He's all over it. He was back, baby.
Well, we just found out a minute ago DCL is not playing this weekend. Therefore, of the double game week, he will only play City, so it might make him a lot less appealing now if he even plays it. So
he may only play City. He may not even play that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And then there was the 4-1. Well, 1-4, Liverpool, Man City. Can you say that the title race is over now? Is that a bit too quick to say? But I mean, City are in a roll, though, aren't they? City are very hard to stop, and they've got a double game week this game week, so they're definitely going to get ahead in the rankings.
Yeah.
I mean, United really screwed the pooch. Sorry, with regards to that last-minute equaliser by DCL. A nice little silver lining for me because, I have DCL in my team, so that was good.
Yeah, but in terms of title race, unless something drastic happens, like a bit of another COVID outbreak or a serious run of injuries, then, I think the title race is over, to be honest.
Yeah. And Chelsea still Chelsea did concede a goal.
As you see it there, it's an absolute tragic goal. How Ollie Burt got the assist for that, because it had absolutely nothing to do with him. But anyway, Yeah, the FPL rules making up assists again.
He assisted Rudiger for like booting it into his own net.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, how it's just the most.
It wasn't a deflection.
utter
Rudiger
nonsense.
literally passed it into his
he
own
literally
net.
had control of the ball, passed it back, and it went in. Oh yeah, assist. Like, do you imagine that? Do you think Ollie Burke is running around telling his mates, "Hey, did you see my assist today?"
But Werner is getting more and more in the squad as on the assists. He's been assisting, but do you reckon he will score this season? I think he might be a good one for next season.
do you think he's got a goal in him in the rest of the year? I don't know. I mean, we joke, but no, he'll get one. But the thing is that he's got a knock now, hasn't he? So he's just, as you say, he's just getting a bit of momentum up, and now he's 75% chance with a dead leg. I think, I saw this thing. It was like, dead leg? I think that's what you call it in this country. I'm not sure why it's Middle Eastern, but...
Yeah, Spurs back at it. Do you see the Jose Mourinho, the Kane's injured, Kane's not injured jobby?
Oh, the mind games.
Yeah, the old mind games, yeah. But I mean, he is back now, and he was rested for most of the game against Everton. And it was a good game, and Spurs actually looked good. Like, they looked attacking, but it's an interesting one with them against City, because I mean, obviously at the start of the season when Spurs were on a real run and City was still a bit meh, like they beat them 2-0.
This is it, and everyone's gearing up this. Sorry, go on, Woody.
I was going to say Son and Kane linked up in the old, classic Son Kane style in that game. Yeah. So it could happen again.
I do think everyone is kind of loading up on City and all this, and Spurs could just go and beat them. I mean, City, and the other thing is that when City won the last game, they've now broken the record for the most amount of consecutive games won in a row, and that's obviously a very difficult thing to do. But now I feel like this is gonna be in their heads, and they can't win forever, right? So. Who better to beat them than Spurs, A
little bit like the Liverpool thing, they hadn't lost at home for like 4 years, and they lost 3 in a row. So
exactly,
it is.
So we're calling it,
and
this is going to be a Spurs victory.
And also the likelihood of the goal being on the counter and there being Kane and Son linking up is pretty high. So if you had Kane or Son, I actually think it's not a bad game to play him in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just going touching back on Chelsea again, the old Tuchel tombola. I mean, what are your thoughts on the rotation? And I mean, obviously with the cup game, we had Ziyech and Pulisic back in the team. Alonso played 45. Cesar was rested. I mean, you think it's time to do you think he's settled enough for you to know who he's playing? Whether you're gonna
I think Jorginho, for example, is one that I'm keeping in mind purely because at the beginning of the season, Lamps was playing him quite regularly, and he's the penalty taker. And Jorginho does seem like he's the midfielder of choice for Tuchel. So I would consider. I know it's not a very appealing one FPL wise, but it looks like he's delivering. He's got 3 BPs as well from the game against Sheffield United. So
you wouldn't fancy a bit of Aspil or James or Mount? Mount was rested, yeah.
Yeah,
Mount played well, yeah.
Mount is more of an exciting one to watch when you're watching him. Jorginho just kind of stays, he's the assist kind of guy, And
it's definitely one thing I've noticed as well with Mount in the last few weeks, like because Ziyech hasn't been playing and neither Chilwell. He's been on a lot more of the set pieces.
Yeah.
My personal opinion on Chelsea is that it's risky because of rotation. And I always feel like I'll buy a player and he won't play. So they're looking all right. It's a risk. That's all.
But James and Azpilicueta, yes, I think they're pretty much that because they're playing James right mid or right wing, right?
Right wing back. Yeah,
right back. So
yeah,
those are good options.
I think they're pretty reasonably nailed. Club captain and all that. But yeah, Mount, he's down. he's at 6.8, so that wouldn't be a bad little cheeky punt. I like where your head's at.
Right,
and then. Yeah, so we need to move on to our team, don't we, really?
Yeah. Should we crack on then with the team of the week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Wow. So, team of the week, 100 mil budget, get it on a free hit or a wild card. And so we do it every week. We aim to give you the best team, and last week we failed. So this week we're going to...
I believe I've talked myself into doing the defense this week.
Oh my God, he wouldn't stop. So yeah, take it.
Okay, so we're doing a 3-5-2 this week. Obviously with one goalkeeper, and with the double game week in mind. I am putting almost all of our eggs in one basket, and we're tripling up on Burnley defence. They've got Palace and Fulham, and basically, other than Sheffield United, you couldn't be facing two of the least threatening teams in the league. So we have gone for a Pope, me and Loughton combo. I think me with the aerial threat against Palace and Fulham. That's they do see quite a lot of set pieces, and Loughton as the fullback, and then Popey's just Popey. You can't go wrong with that. And then
do you know
finishing,
what, Woody? One thing you said there that I need to just address is Crystal Palace. You're running them off, I think, a little bit, and I think that Crystal Palace are a little bit of an enigma, and I just don't know which Crystal Palace is going to show up. I don't think it's a guaranteed cleaning because they do have legitimately good players on that team, and I understand what you're saying, but I do think that they've got the potential of scoring a goal, which would defy the point of the cleanie,
I mean, I see what you're saying, but if you look at the stats of Crystal Palace when Zaha isn't playing, it's horrendous. Like, I don't think they've won a single game this season where Zaha hasn't played.
Out, yeah.
Oh, he's got a hamstring and he's red. So I think I haven't checked that. I have to wait for the pressies as usual. But if Zaha's still out, and he probably will be, then they're just statistically it doesn't bode well for them.
Okay.
So that's all I'll say to counter that one. And then at the moment, we're going to finish off the three at the back. We're going Michael Keane of Everton, obviously playing Fulham at home, which again, pretty good.
Why would you
fixture.
pick Keane?
Oh, shit! Right. So basically, I was. Eric, have you updated? Have you found out the latest from the press conference about Dina?
No, I couldn't find anything.
No,
it's just funny though
that
because it was funny watching Woody trying to explain that. Yeah, we've gone for Keane, because Keane's he did not want him one.
No, I would get if Dina's fit. If the press conference comes back and Dina's fit to go, then go Dina. But in the absence of Dean, go with Keane.
Maybe. Oh, what I was going to suggest to you is we could stick in Dina and put Keane as a backup instead of our current number one backup. The downside to that is Dina only plays one game. If he, for example, gets arrested against Fulham, then you've only got Dean against City. So you're talking about risk anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say if he's 100% fit, go with Dean. If he's still yellow, then go with someone who's going to play in both. Okay. Otherwise, you're better off having someone who's got a better fixture. And then on the bench for our number one sub is Aspil, who, as we were just talking about, is pretty nailed. Newcastle at home. Newcastle without Wilson is pretty toothless. And Chelsea have conceded 1 goal in the last 5 games. So I think that's a pretty safe cleanie. And Aspil does link up with James down the right for forward points. And then as our last sub, we've got Aaron Cresswell, who's had a brilliant season. You can't really go wrong. He's on set pieces and they're playing Sheffield United at home.
Yeah.
So it's just a good... I mean, I don't think he's going to get on because I think everyone else is going to be playing in our first 11. But he's a good player to have.
Okay. Alex, I'll take the mids if you're happy with that.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Unsurprisingly, so we're playing 5 in midfield, and our number one midfielder is Bruno Fernandez. Playing West Brom away, he's known for his away form, isn't he?
Well, United are generally.
Yeah. So what better fixture than West Brom away? No disrespect to Big Sam, but yeah. So then we have Sterling, and Sterling has, to be fair, been pretty good, and he's been pretty consistent this season, albeit a little bit expensive for what he's returning. But still, I mean, if you have the budget, why not, right? I think this is probably a replacement for Salah, something like that, one of the big hitters. But anyway, so Sterling's playing Spurs at home and Everton away. I mean, I think both those fixtures are pretty good for Sterling. He can really get a goal any time. And he scored a goal during the week.
And he only played 50-something minutes. So.
Yeah, it was a nice... He just looked in form, So, Sterling, double game week, bit of a no-brainer. Then we have the controversial element of the team, and I feel like I'm going to get pulled up on this. But anyway,
I'm not sure if he is the controversial element of the team.
Okay,
I think Alex has got that pleasure.
Okay, all right. Well, so we've got Marcus Rashford. Again, great fixture, West Brom away and all that, but Rashford's been a bit inconsistent. He's a good player, but whether he gets the FPL returns is a different story. So I like the look of it. Yeah, I think that could be potential for a little bit of goal scoring, a bit of assisting. Yeah, and our fourth midfielder, also a little bit punty, is Lookman. And
my boy.
I think,
Can you use his full name? Adamola Woodie's boy Lookman.
Adamola Woodie's A6 boy Lookman. He's got a double game week, and again, a bit inconsistent, but I mean, Everton and Burnley could be good fixtures. He likes to get up there, and he likes to sort of make runs and all that. Exciting player to watch. So yeah, gone for it. Why not? And then the last player is Ilkay. You know what? The last player is Gundo, because
because you can't say his full name.
I always get it wrong. I'm going to get pulled up on this. Pep calls him Gundo, so I'm going to call him Gundo. And yeah, again, he's been in form and taking penalties, albeit missing them. And he's taking free kicks and he's taking corners.
Well, you raise a good point there. So when it comes to the next penalty, like Sterling missed one, Gundo missed one. Who's going to take it? Who's on penalties now?
I don't think that's how it works. It's like you get back on the horse, you take it again, right?
But then why didn't Sterling take it then? When Gundo
Sterling was, I think that was a punt in the first place. I think Gundo's number one. But the weird thing about that penalty was that I had a feeling he was going to miss it. You know the way you can kind of tell from the confidence of the run up to the penalty. Yeah, it looked like he wasn't planning on scoring that, which I don't understand. But then he redeemed himself with 2 goals. But still, it was strange.
He just likes to set himself a challenge, you know. He's like, you know, I'll give myself -2 points for missing a penalty, but I'll still bag 15.
Exactly. yeah, it really should have been a hat trick, but anyway, so we've forgiven him. So yeah, Gundo is our 5th midfielder. So that's pretty solid midfield, I'd say.
Yeah, and now the controversial front line, really.
I mean, I like it.
I mean, I'll start with the DCL replacement, because as we said earlier, it sounds like DCL definitely won't be playing against Fulham, and therefore we're thinking Richarlison could be a good alternative to him. Mm-hmm. Playing Fulham, obviously, and Manchester City, both at home at Everton, and Richarlison, although he hasn't been really delivering on the Premier League side of things, I think he is still quite a good option, especially for a forward. And then we have Jesus. Now, so I think this is kind of punty, but I feel that Woody is kind of having second thoughts about it.
Well, that's weird because it was my suggestion initially, and then I'm like, I'm not sure. It might be a bit too out there.
I think it's good. I think it's a good one. As long as we don't captain him, I think it's all right. I think we're good. I think because I think he will play one of those games, definitely.
Yeah,
and I mean he's I mean his goal during the week was
pretty great. Yeah.
Good instincts there for a striker. You know, it's nice striker instincts.
He is definitely coming in, like building a bit more confidence and sort of nailing his place in the team a little bit more. But and it's still
massively differential though. Massively differential.
It is.
I mean, how many people own him? What's the percentage? Do we know? Is it 4.7? Okay, 4.7%. So
that's actually higher than I thought. Yeah, that's 4.7 brave people.
I think that may have gone up this week specifically.
No, you're probably right. Yeah, there's probably been quite a lot. No, surprisingly, not really. No, actually,
76,000. So no, he's not really backed compared to Gundo, 576,000.
Yeah,
so there you go.
$500,000.
Jesus.
Glad I got on that train early.
Yeah, and then finally we've got Decordova-Reid up front as well for Fulham. He's a strong option. We have Lookman, but also Woody did mention, is it Cavallero? Is his name?
Yeah,
midfielder.
Caballero,
another midfielder for Fulham that could be a good option because he plays up front. But Decordova-Reid, you know, he gets in there, gets involved. I have liked the look of him. It's just that Fulham at the moment, unfortunately, are having trouble scoring, really.
But they're due one. They're like Sheffield United, you know, any minute now they're going to start scoring.
Any minute now.
Hatfuls.
So that's our team.
Yeah, just one thing I want to point out is Pope, while on paper he's a great goalkeeper and we all know his potential, but he has not been delivering lately, strangely.
No, but look at those fixtures. Villa, Chelsea, City. I mean, fair enough, Brighton. But I mean, but that was... Brighton had been in form and that was such a soft goal. Tarkas, of all people, let's dunk, get a run on him, honestly.
Was it softer than the Rudiger goal?
Yeah, I think Ollie Burke got an assist for that one as well. Actually,
Do you think they high five? Do you think Burke high five Rudiger? Is like nice. That's good. Man.
No, they're not allowed to
work
hug
together.
It's only because of the rules. Otherwise, they'd have gone and had a good old hug.
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
but you know what it's like? Exactly that. Like, someone puts in a belting shot or a cross and it hits the player and goes in. Everybody runs up to the player that like hit the ball and was like, "Oh, nice one, mate. You still get a little bit." No one went up to Burke and was like, "Ah, cheers, you earned that goal." That was all you.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Right.
All right, captains. We have to discuss captains quickly.
Yeah.
I think for me it's pretty obvious, and I think it's as it sits at the moment. Personally,
Yeah, I think so too. It's currently on Gundogan.
I'm liking a bit of Sterling. That's just my opinion.
I mean, I know what you're saying because Sterling's the kind of guy that if he turns up, will get a hat trick, and then you're like, "Oh God, I wish I captained him." But Gundo is just on so many set pieces.
Yeah, he's a lot more involved. He's a lot more on the ball than Sterling is.
Yeah,
this is what worries me is Gundo, Sheffield United at home. I was like, come on, baby, 3 points.
Yeah,
it was weird.
But
it is Sheffield United. They are tough.
I mean,
breakdown.
I think he'll stay on penos, to be honest, and free kicks. Yeah, I think he even takes corners occasionally. So I think Gundo's a safe bet. Statistically, I think he's better off than Sterling. And I love my statistics.
Don't follow fancy Ollie Burke, no.
Mate, I think Ollie Burke is 4.2 now. So I know I keep banging on about him, but if you are looking for a bench filler for funds, mate, get Ollie Burke. He's a points machine for 4.2.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think we're going for Gundo, and then who's that? Should we do Sterling vice?
I think so. Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the threat of games being cancelled last minute for COVID is kind of gone, hasn't it? So
it feels like it.
Should we go with another club just in case, like Popey, just in case one of the City games gets cancelled? But
I don't think that's going to happen.
I think that danger's been averted.
All right, let's have a little word about little punts and transfers in the week, and just some players that we find are interesting and don't feature in our team. So,
I think the most important one this week is how do you solve a problem like DCL?
Yeah, how do you solve DCL? Yeah.
Well, Alex? you get. Well, as we discussed, Richarlison really is a good option.
So in your personal team, you would do a straight swap. You wouldn't be looking.
I could.
You wouldn't be looking to future game weeks and stuff.
Well, no, I wouldn't. See, personally, I wouldn't get rid of DCL. I'd keep him on the bench because he's pretty stable. For me, what I had to do, the decision I had to make was to get rid of Wilson.
He's toast. Yeah.
And again, it's not. The thing is with this game week is that it's not a good idea to pile up. I mean, the only ones that are a good idea to pile up on in your team is City players. All the other teams, you don't really want to pile on.
Ironic, really, when you look at our defense with 3 Burnley players, Woodie.
Yeah. Well, the only thing, honestly, guaranteed points, mate. The only thing I'll say with DCL and Wilson, if you've got them in your team, is think to next game week when Leeds have a double game week. So I think a Bamford in for one of those two wouldn't be a bad shout.
Yeah, no, for sure. And as well, speaking of Leeds, a player that I really like at the moment, that's one to watch in my eyes, is Rafinha.
Yeah.
Also Leeds.
Yeah, no, he's good for a while.
He's starting to get really cocky and really confident and stuff. Yep. And the way he scored the goal, I mean, it's classic. I mean, they're very good goals.
Apparently, Liverpool wants him. That's what I read.
Rumor. He's on set pieces now as well. Like, he does a lot more with set pieces. So yeah.
Is he available in the draft? I might try and get him. Actually.
No, he's not in our draft.
You have him. You have him, Eric.
that shows how in tune he is.
Eric, you have him.
I don't think you guys understood the subtlety of my joke there.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. That was
what about Foden? He's been showing up.
Yeah, but he's a bit too rotatey. 16 minutes, minutes.
Yeah, well, no, that's his points.
Oh, sorry, yeah. This is a bit weird.
You know, he went a bit under the radar there because, Gundo and Sterling scored and everything, but literally no one knows that Foden got 16 points. Well, I suppose someone knows, but not many people.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I just don't think he'll play much in terms of the other City
Long
players
term?
you could get. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for, I want to say a cheap bench filler because he's going to play, but at 6.1 he's good value. But you want to have a good backup.
One thing to note, to just as well for people to note is the fact that Diaz has an illness issue at the moment.
Yeah.
So they could be leaky. City can be leaky at the back if he's not there, maybe, because he's been their saving grace, right?
As I said to you before the podcast, though, mate, like, you're going to replace him with Laporte, and as replacements go, I mean, let's face it, Laporte would walk into the United centre back position.
Who wouldn't,
without even trying?
What, and take. Yeah, who wouldn't exactly? Who wouldn't fall right into place? But I think, Eric, you wanted to mention Cavani.
Yeah, Cavani. Woody, you were asking about the DCL problem, and I know people like a bit of a punt, and Cavani could be that punt. Could be the answer to that.
It's true. Maybe not this week because of the double game, but then West Brom. Yeah. I mean, is he still available in the draft?
I think I know where you're going with this.
I got your back.
Anyway, another thing I'd like to just mention before we got to wrap this up, but basically, next game week is a double game week for Leeds. So if one doesn't have Bamford, it might be a great time to bring him in.
And
also
Southampton.
Just going to throw it out there: Ingsy or Che Adams.
Yeah, exactly.
The Ingsy Express. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. This is a preview for next week, so I hope that's the excitement you need in your day.
It's whetted the appetite.
Yeah. All right. Well, that concludes the podcast for today. Keep an eye on the pressies. Any last minute changes, obviously, and best of luck with the game week.
Yeah. Good luck, everyone.
Ciao.
Ciao.